Hello, my name is Dr. Ken Wallace, the co-founder of Notebook of Medicine app for doctors and other healthcare professionals. Notebook of Medicine is a social network for doctors. Using Notebook of Medicine, doctors will be able to access information on most of the diseases and their diagnoses and treatment in a logical way in a structured book. You are not only accessing specific information on that disease, but you are also understanding a logical way to consume that information. Take notes and upload images for that disease in the same book. So you have your own private notes and images next to the disease information. Your book grows as you take on more cases and record the information. Share with other doctors your clinical, pathological, and radiological images and comments on disease diagnosis and treatment. While contributing to the shared knowledge base, you will be recognized in the healthcare community as an expert in that area. I would like to talk to you about why I created Notebook of Medicine. If you ask physicians if they were satisfied with their medical education, I suspect you would get a wide range of answers. Personally for me, the best word I could use would be confused. There just was no logical structure to my education. I would ask my attendings for help and they would just say, read the book. So in general surgery, I was expected to read the surgery book, in peds, the peds book, and gynecology, the gynecology book. And it was just overwhelming. There was no structure, and I just didn't understand why there wasn't a book like that. As I went on in my career, I started as an emergency room physician. I decided to become a dermatologist at 40, and I had to sit for both boards at that time. In order to do that, I had to read the books, and I read all of them several times. And guess what I discovered? They all said the same thing. So the general surgery book talks about syphilis, so does the peds book, so does the gynecology book. The general surgery book talks about sarcoidosis, so does the peds book, and so does the gynecology book. As I discovered that they all said the same thing, I also discovered that there were patterns to medicine. I like to describe it as the sine wave of medicine. Things go up and they go down. So when melanocytes die, it's called vitiligo. When they get a little bigger, it's a mole. And they get bigger and bad, it's a melanoma. When blood vessels dilate, it's hypotension. When they constrict, it's hypertension. When collagen goes down, it's atrophoderma. When it goes up, it's a keloid. When elastin goes down, it's elastolysis. When it goes up, it's elastoderma. Secondly, I noticed that everything is based off of three embryological structures: neuroectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. If you get a bunch of neuroectoderm in one location, it's a hamartoma. When neuroectoderm meets mesoderm, it's a ectomesenchyma. So you might have an adenofibroma or an adenolipoma. When mesoderm meets mesoderm, it's a mesenchyma, so angiolipoma or angioneuroma. And when all three germ layers get together, it's a teratoma. Lastly, you have bone marrow cell lines. There's only so many of them, and they attack the other structures. So lymphocytes attack typically viruses, but in the body, when they attack the dermis, it's called lymphocytic dermatitis, lymphocytic pancreatitis, lymphocytic vasculitis. If they get bigger in the more in the blood, it's I'm sorry, we'll have to just redo that part. They can become cancerous in the blood and become leukemias, acute and chronic. When neutrophils enter the dermis, it's neutrophilic dermatitis, neutrophilic pancreatitis, neutrophilic vasculitis, neutrophilic optic neuritis, neutrophilic leukemia, acute and chronic. When mast cells enter the dermis, it's mastocytoma, mast cell leukemia, mast cell sarcoma, plasmacytoma, plasma cell hyperplasia, plasma cell leukemia, plasma cell sarcoma. This pattern is the same every time. And if you use these words to triangulate the diseases, you can literally name every disease based on these patterns. Now I realize this reads a bit fantastical, But if you do carry it out, it works for all of medicine. It never fails. There's a limited number of organs with a limited number of things that can attack them. There's also a limited number of adjectives we use to describe what happens when a bone marrow cell line attacks an organ, such as necrosis or apoptosis. If you can learn those 500 adjectives and apply them to this line of thinking, you will understand medicine before you even start it. And if you can start learning with understanding, you'll be a genius by the time you finish your medical training. At Notebook of Medicine, I have painstakingly worked out all of this for you. Not only that, we have created an editable textbook which is easily searchable for every diagnosis in the world. Just type in a phrase like malignant melanoma, larynx, and the ancestral tree will take you there, literally teaching you as it goes. Once there, you may enter the homepage for that to find an editable textbook. Here you can add text, photos, videos, etc. and post them to private, semi-public, or public forums, and in this manner, you can share your data with anyone you like. But the best part is that your thoughts for any particular diagnosis will always be in one place. No more taking notes and losing them. Think of it as we are the skyscraper of medicine, and you get to enter the furniture. You can only edit your version, though, as it is your personal edition. After all, I may not like the furniture you add. So each book is individualized according to what you learn and when, like a record of your thoughts as you go through your medical education, for any type of healthcare provider and not just physicians. In this way, all of your thoughts on any particular subject will be forever stored in the same place, easily searchable and updatable as you like. The ironic part of learning is that one cannot know the parts without knowing the whole, and nor can one know the whole without knowing the parts. At Notebook of Medicine, we will give you the whole. We will give you a 30-mile view of medicine and want you to start at the top of the pyramid of medicine and work your way down instead of dumping the pyramid upon your head and working your way back up. Believe me when I say it is always easier to go downhill. He smiled and threw me off a little bit.